Hello and welcome to 100 Yards of Football, Sports Talk Radio. I am the producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me as always is our host, the man himself, football legend extraordinaire, the information machine, Mr. Vincent, Mr. Football Turner. How's it going, Mr. Turner?
How you doing today, Jeremiah?
I'm doing excellent. So today we are being presented by the Dallas Weekly. The Dallas Weekly is an amazing newspaper for the African American press that's been running for over 50 years in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Their reach goes well beyond Dallas onto a lot of the not only Dallas Metro, but the greater Texas area in general. And we are so proud to be representing the Dallas Weekly today as we talk about the Dallas Cowboys and whether they have a top 5 defense this year. So right off the bat, what are the keys to this Dallas Cowboys defense, and do they have a top 5 defense, Mr. Turner?
Well, like I said, first and foremost to Cowboys Nation. As you see, I'm wearing my Dallas Cowboys hat. Loved the team ever since 1966.
Yes, sir.
When you look at the Cowboys, based on what they did in the offseason, I'm going to take you back a little history-wise. Remember the 1985 Chicago Bears. I'm going to throw some names out there. Dan Hampton, William Perry, Richard Dent. Then I'm going to go to the 2000 Baltimore Ravens. Throw a couple of names out there. Michael McCrary, Rob Brunette. Then, and of course, Sam Adams. Then I'm going to throw out there the 1976 Pittsburgh Steelers. Dwight White, Joe Green, L.C. Greenwood, and Ernie Holmes. So when you look at this Cowboys team of being a top 5 defense this year, then I'm going to throw the names that I think can compare to all those great other defenses in the past. Think about what the Cowboys did in the offseason. Number one, they picked up Everson Griffin last week, 4-time Pro Bowler with the Minnesota Vikings. They picked up Aldon Smith, another 2-time Pro Bowler with the San Francisco 49ers. They also drafted Neville Gallimore, one of the top athletic defensive tackles in the 2020 NFL draft. And then finally, they got DeMarcus Lawrence. We all know how top player he's been for the Cowboys over the last few years, a Pro Bowl type player at a high level. All I'm saying is when you look at all these top 5 defenses of the past and even to the present, it's like our colleague says here on 100 Yards Football, who played 12 years in the National Football League with the Atlanta Falcons. It's always built on the line of scrimmage in the trenches. And that's what I see the Dallas Cowboys have done in our season. Granted, they lost Gerald McCoy last week. They picked up another Pro Bowl player in Everson Griffin. And I think one of the main reasons the Cowboys are going to be a top 5 defense because they have a lot of great talent within their defensive line now. Granted, a lot of people might say it's old, but when you look at the players, DeMarcus Lawrence, Everson Griffin, Aldon Smith, Neville Gallimore, then Tyrone Crawford, that's a pretty good defensive line that can compare with anybody in the National Football League. Then the other major key, last year, the Cowboys went bad all on defense last year. They were 9th overall. I think they was 11th against the pass. Basically, when you look at that, the key point that really kept them from really elevating the defense was the takeaways. They only had 17 as a team, and they only had 7 interceptions. But what I like most of all, they made the most key acquisition in the offseason that a lot of people don't really know about, and a lot of people might not agree with me. But they got a safety that they brought over from the Washington Redskins. On his career, he has 17 interceptions. He comes out of the SEC, and as we do here on 100 Yards of Football, the people in Texas don't get upset, but we always say roll tide. My man, who's a first-round draft towards 2016, my man for the Green Bay Packers, who was drafted, Mr. Clinton Dix, is going to change everything on the back end for the Dallas Cowboys, and that's going to be the key. Over the last 10 years, the Cowboys have not had a safety of his quality to be able to really pro the back nine and then also be able to take the football away. So when you combine all that and then you're looking at the linebacker core, if they healthy, Jalen Smith and Lyndon Van Den Earth, then looking at the secondary now with Clinton Dix, and then I've been hearing as far as this week, lean up today, roll tide again, Mr. Trevon Diggs is starting to really roll into a quality corner who's going to be able to really contribute this season.
I'm telling you, like with a lineup like that from the top to bottom, So tell me this: what are going to be their biggest obstacles coming into this season, and what are the teams that they really have to watch out for to be able to maintain this top defense?
Well, one of the other things I meant to mention, Mr. Poe out of my hometown, the 901 Memphis, Tennessee, Donante Poe. But I think the biggest obstacle with any team coming into the season is injuries. You got to be able to stay healthy. Your depth is very limited on some teams. But to me, for this Cowboy defense to not be at a high level, it's all about injuries. If they stay healthy, they're playing in the NFC East. They're going to face some pretty good football players. Saquon Barkley is one of the best running backs in the game. Washington, I think Dwayne Haskins is going to be a pretty good player. They got the Atlanta Falcons in the second week of the season. I think we're going to really see how well this defense is because you're going to be facing a very good quarterback, a veteran Pro Bowl player, and Matt Ryan, and to me, the best receiver in the game, and Julio Jones, and a running back is going to have a lot to prove in Todd Gurley. I think we're going to find out early on how good this Cowboy defense can be. But to me, it's very simple. Injuries are the key to any team with talent. And the Cowboys, if they stay away from injuries, this can be a really good defense. And the defense comparable to the 1992 season when they won the Super Bowl that year, when they had Charles Haley, Russell Maryland, Tony Tolbert, all those great players, Tony Casillas, Kenny Norton Jr., Robert Jones. If you stay healthy and you got this type of talent, then you can have a top 5 defense.
Definitely. Well, for everybody who's watching, we are the Dallas Weekly. This episode is 100 Yards of Football, and I am Jeremiah Long. I am the producer. Joining me is Mr. Football Extraordinaire, Vincent Turner. He is our host coming weekly. If you would like this video, please comment and tell us what you think about Dallas Cowboys, what their chances are, and will they have a top 5 defense this season? Also, we'd like to hear from you and hear what other shows you'd like us to cover. Would you like to hear about historic teams? Would you like to hear player profiles? Or what would you like to hear about? Would you like interviews with some of the players? Let us know. The Dallas Weekly has been here for over 50 years, providing the news and information to the Black press for this entire area, the DFW area. And we're very proud and ecstatic to be joining the team here and being able to do work along with that group. So for everybody here at 100 Yards of Football, I am Jeremiah, and this is Vincent Turner, and we'll see you a little bit later this week. Thanks, guys.